Even though I was alone in the house, out of habit, I closed the bathroom door. As I was sitting there doing my business, I distinctly heard the sound of my Labrador Ripley sniffing along the bottom of the door. Problem was, Ripley was no longer among the living. I'm Beth Ann Campbell, and this is Something Weird Happened Here. Welcome to Something Weird Happened Here, the podcast for people who love a twisted tale but aren't afraid to poke at it a bit. We share stories that are postmarked peculiar and then explore the story with curiosity and an open mind. Stay tuned after the show to find out how to submit your strange saga, and maybe we or you will share it on air. Now let's get started, because no matter where you are in this mysterious world, something weird happened here. This tale is postmarked Michigan, USA, and also Virginia, USA. Subject line, Dead Pets and Tarot Cards. This episode is part 2 of a conversation I had with my friend Evie. Evie and I got to talking so much and about so many interesting topics that I had to split it up into 2 episodes. Today we're going to cover pet spirits and tarot cards. So let's pick back up where we left off in the last episode. Do you have any energies in your current house that you're living in?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, quite a few. Well, yeah, about a handful. Well, there are the people from the house that have been here forever, different eras throughout time. There is also people that just come and go, and I don't know why, other than they're looking for confirmation. Like there's people that have come, gone, and I'll never see again, never meet again. There's also people from I had a situation from a couple blocks over one night where the ghosts from the house down there came at me and showed me all this stuff.
It's like the neighbors showing up unannounced. Like, come on.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, there's multiple things going on, and I don't think it's the house. Again, it's me bringing it in, like I said, when they know there's someone here. So the house itself does have one, two, three human spirits that are still attached,
Oh,
2 animals, and then the random visitors.
I didn't even think to ask you about animals. So do you perceive or communicate
Oh
with
yeah.
animals? Oh.
Yep. Oh
Hmm.
yeah, animals. And side note, people, like they say, everybody's got some of it. Yeah, but a lot of people will tune in to pick up animal spirits are easier to pick up on than spirits from a living creature, human.
I believe this because I can't remember if I told you this, but I was telling somebody this. As I've said already, even in this episode, I don't really have or feel like I am very receptive for whatever reason. I'm just not open or never cared for it or whatever. But I have had multiple experiences with my late dogs. So I had a Labrador who passed away during the pandemic, and she used to sniff along the bottom of the door. Very distinct. My other dog didn't do it. My current dog doesn't do it. But if I would go into the bathroom, like dogs like to follow you into the bathroom, some of them, and she was one of them. And if I would shut the door, she would sniff along the bottom, and it was a very
Huh,
distinct sound. Yeah. And
right?
after she passed away, several times, I very clearly heard alone in the house. My husband's not home. I'm just me, and I had no dogs at the time. I very distinctly heard her or you heard her sniffing along the door. Like it was like I could almost, if I had seen a shadow, it would not have surprised me a few times. And then even in my current house, and this has happened in multiple houses, sometimes I'll just turn off the light. So this is not sleep paralysis. I'm not even close to, I'm literally just turned out the light. I'm getting, in position. And Sean, my husband, goes to bed later, so he's not in there. And I feel what I think is my current dog jumping on the bed and like, patting around. And I have turned on the light, I've turned on my phone and shined it. It's not normally something that she does. In fact, when I turn the light out, she usually jumps off. If she's on the bed, which is rare. So I distinctly feel what I think is a dog jumping on the bed and then just movement, gentle movement, but clearly I'm feeling movement and there's never anything there, but I just assume it feels like it's just my dog because my lab, my the one that passed away, would jump on the bed. She was a dead weight, like you wouldn't get her off the bed. So yeah, I believe it. I believe that you know what, Evie, it's just like I can watch a show where 100,000 people get maimed and killed by zombies or shot or whatever, no problem. But as soon as a dog dies, I'm toast. So I think
Say my theory is this is just my theory
yeah,
again. I'm not a professional, not any books. I'm just me doing my
yeah.
thing. My theory is, and maybe it's just because it sounds like like it would be cool if it was true. I think when the soul reaches its last carnation on this planet, it comes back as an animal.
Hmm.
And now this isn't for all animals because, well, it could be. I don't know. Like I said, this is just me hypothesizing from what I've experienced and everything and stories that I've heard. I think that's why animals are easier and for normal people to perceive in a spirit form because they were so loyal, loving, and you treated them so well when they were alive. They may have passed on, but like a spirit guide or an ancestor, they still want to show you that love that you gave. Like, thank you for
Yeah,
helping my last incarnation. I'm still here with you. I still love you, whatever.
yeah.
That's my theory. I'm just thinking like that would be super cool. That would totally make sense and be awesome.
I'll take it.
Right? So that's what I'm going with. Now, I don't know. There might be other reasons for Anna why people can why base I mean, and literally anyone can how everyone's seen a a shadow of a dog or
Hmm.
the couch indented from a cat sitting there or they've seen a cat or whatever. Nearly everyone that I
Yeah.
know. Oh yeah, I've had an experience. If you walk into a room at a party and say, has anyone had a paranormal experience? 8 out of those 10 people will say, yes, it was an animal.
Yeah. Well, people don't like to admit this, but I think a lot of people have a deeper and a different love for especially their pets or domesticated animals than they do for most of the humans in their life. And it's,
There's
you know,
that.
I've said this about my mom, but my mom and my brother both passed away when they were, relatively young. My mom was only 63. My older brother was 49. And of course, I would give anything to have them back. I love them both dearly, but I mourned my dogs much, much longer and greater. And I did never felt a hole in my soul when my mom died or when my brother died. I felt a hole in my soul when my dogs died. And that's why I have another dog right now, even though I said I never would, because I needed something to fill that hole. So,
Because they were out there going, you know what? She's a good person. You need to go to this house and
yeah.
the what do they call it? The pet distribution system.
Oh,
You
so
ended
they
up with
found
another
me.
one
So she
because they were
found me.
because you
Oh,
were good. Because
that gives me goose pimples.
again, if they find the path, souls find the path of least resistance. I mean, that's the distribution system of animals.
Oh, that's amazing. So do you communicate
So,
with your form? I think you said earlier maybe that you did. You communicate with your pets that you've had in the past.
oh yeah, definitely.
Oh.
The two cats that we had that passed are here all the time. The one that most recently passed, it was so random how we found him. He was on a country road as what we thought was a kitten at the time. My husband had picked him up, brought him home. I'm like, oh my God, that's cat number 6. What are we gonna do? And he had just he was an animal that I've never experienced a more human animal on a I could not as an intuitive I could not sometimes discern whether I was talking to a human and they were talking back to me or it was a cat. It was the most connection that I've ever experienced with an animal and I've had lots of animals. And then he got very sick for a year. We got him out of that. He came out of that and then he got cancer on top of that and he did
Hmm.
eventually pass a year ago. And when he passed, he came to me in the form of a child that me and my current husband had in a past life. He was our child. I sat and I drew a picture of what he looked like to me, and he had, his nose and my eyes, and so, and it
Wow.
just, and he was, and now, then he would, for a couple months after he passed, he would appear to me as his cat form and as my son's form. Now I don't know if he's moved on. I have not interacted with him. Oh, probably close to a year, but I have had a lot going on in my personal life. So when you got that going on, sometimes you forget to
Yeah.
check in on your dead people. You guys, yeah, yeah, you know how you
Well,
call up your mom you haven't heard in a while. You
yeah.
got to check in on your dead people every so often.
I imagine it's
Oh.
probably similar to really just any psychological or stress. It's like I've often said, like sometimes people who are overachievers and hard workers and well, I mean not hard workers, but they just take on a lot, right? Overworkers. They do that to do it because sometimes it does distract. So sometimes you do it purposeful, but sometimes you're just caught up in it. And it does help to, I think, you just don't notice things because
Yeah, I
because you're
would
going
say
through a life change, that kind of
when I'm in my downtime in my brain, is when when things will come in, even at other places, outside of this house. Yeah, if I'm really really hot and heavy into something, I can block out humans, ghosts, aliens, everyone. Like, right,
yeah.
there's because my energy is being taken up by all this other stuff.
Yeah.
Well, they feed off that energy. Well, if you don't got any energy to give out because you're burning it all,
Mm,
it can't come through.
good point.
They need that energy to feed off of, to come through with. They need
Yeah.
something.
Well, so I want to ask you kind of related to your gifts about so you do tarot readings like a formally you actually people come to you and you do readings. I wanted to ask you like how long have you been doing tarot? I'm really fascinated with tarot. I think it's really cool because I feel like tarot it blends. You can have gifts like you, but you can also just be a really good interpreter. And so I think there's like a lot to it, and I'm just fascinated. But I was curious how long have you been doing tarot readings?
I got my first deck when I was around 25 or so. That was when I was always raised to be open to UFOs and ghosts and aliens and nature, and go make a potion in the backyard and play with a rock, and that's a cool stick. Like, there was always some witchiness there, some ability to manifest or feeling like I could manifest something or read things, whatever. Um, it wasn't until my first marriage was starting to have its tower moment, as we would say in tarot, that I really tuned into the mystical arts,
Yeah,
tarot and divination and meditation and manifestation and making the whole thing. That was when it was my first major traumatic event in my life, and that's when
interesting.
I went into it.
Fascinating. So, do you have a favorite deck? Of course you do. Every tarot reader has a favorite deck.
you know, you can't go wrong with your tried and true. I did this is the first deck I ever had, the regular old Rider Waite.
Yeah,
Everybody,
yeah.
gets that. Do I have a favorite deck? It depends. For me, for the situation, for the moon cycle, for the people I'm reading for, yes, I will have a favorite deck. But I can't pick it until the person is in front of me and I get their feeling of, oh, we need to go, love and light, or we need to go the demonic deck, or we need to go the emotion deck, or you get I have an arsenal.
I was just going to say you must have all these. I very recently, about a month ago, went out on Amazon to because I wanted to probably inspired by you because when we had our recent conversation, and I went out on Amazon to find a deck because we don't have a lot of places around here where we close by that we can go, and I thought Amazon would have something would call to me. There are literally like thousands, especially now with AI, there are thousands of decks out there. And
Yep.
you really, I envy that you can even have as little as an arsenal because it's just, I don't know how
Well,
you
it's
can
it's a
pick.
it's a decent sized arsenal, but when you're first gonna do it, either go basic because this is a very good deck to learn the basics off of. Obviously, it was the first modern tarot deck, right?
Yeah.
So that's a good one. And unless you really want to get into the different types of divination, cartomancy genres out there, if we're talking just straight up tarot, either go basic so you can learn it, and then you'll notice that 90% of all the other tarot decks out there are very much based on the Rider Waite
Yeah.
system. So if you learn one, you can pretty much learn them all. However, artists will still put deeper meanings and different things into them. So for yourself, you either go that way, basic, or you find one that just calls to you, whether it's a picture or the artwork or how it looks, whatever it does. When you're just out there, just look at one and pick one that you like. That becomes your deck. That's cool. Now you may not use it forever, but that's the best way to get started is just pick one that is you're drawn to. Then if you decide to take it further, then you can be like, well, I got the Rider Waite, but now I know I need a Love and Light deck, which I call them
Yeah.
Love and Light decks, but like, ones that are more light
Ethereal.
and
Yeah.
colorful, and and
Yeah.
then there's the ones that are very deep and they'll go into your dark side, right? So then you can start to build from there depending on, oh man, I really had a bad month. What do I need to focus on my dark, shadow work?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll go and get a deck that calls to, the shadow work side or whatever. So
It's fascinating. Have you ever had anything kind of freaky happen with a reading, like where something came up and you were like, dang.
I can say definitely that I've never done a tarot reading where someone didn't cry.
Oh,
Now, whether it was for good or bad, the thing with a tarot reading is when you sit down to do a tarot reading, nobody comes to, here's the funny thing. Nobody wants a tarot reading because life is good. There's always something. There's always something, but they won't tell you because they either can't figure out what the problem is or they don't want to tell you what the problem is.
right.
So first I'll ask them, is there anything specific you want me to figure out what's going on with? Nah, I'm good. It's all good. I'm like, okay, that's cool. No worries. The cards will tell us. So
Yeah.
then I pull out a layout and do my thing on them. And then halfway through, they're like, oh, and then they cry and then whatever, it comes out.
Do you think people hold back sometimes because they're like, I want to see if she can really figure it out?
Yeah, I've been tested a couple times and I
Yeah.
still cried. So
Have you ever thought about, because you do live for other things in your life, like you do crafting. I'll just say globally crafting. It's more specific than that, but you do some really good lives. I've watched them.
thanks.
Have you ever thought about doing live tarot? I think you could monetize, Evie. I love watching them.
The thing about doing them live is number one, there's a billion of them out there doing it. And number two, and I'm probably going to get a lot of shit from a lot of tarot roulette out there that I call it tarot roulette because you can literally sit on YouTube and just scroll until you find the one telling you what you want to
Yeah,
hear.
yeah,
It's easy for me. I could sit down one day in front of the camera and be like, "Hey everybody, it's Sunday. Let's do a general reading energy." First of all, if you're not in a good place yourself, that general reading is going to be your own reading. That's what's going to come out. Fine. Some people might actually relate to that. Some people out there are looking to be told anything they want to hear, and then they're going to believe it when it's not really their reading.
yeah.
You can try and focus on something. Say, today I'm going to do Sagittarius readings. And then somehow you can project, hopefully, a globalized energy of fire signs and Sagittariuses and whatever. But if you do not have that physical person or thing in front of you that you are doing a reading on, you're basically reading out yourself.
So it's, I get it. So yeah, so what I've
To me,
seen
it's
on,
like a deception in a way
yeah, I was gonna
because
say
now you're
it's,
just putting something out there and yeah, you got 100 followers. Well, of course, 60% of them it's going to relate to
yeah,
because a lot of people are going through the same
yeah.
problems.
That's what I've seen is I've seen people they will pick somebody out of the comments who has a question and they will do a reading based on the question, but you're
It's
what,
better to have a specific focus. And if you're going to go live, you should have a specific read. Now you can do it's the full moon. There are spreads that can focus energy into certain events like full moons and eclipses and things. That's fine. But just on a weekly, daily, whatever basis, I personally don't think I could do it because to me, I'm basically doing a reading on myself and hoping that 9 out of 10 people relate enough to click like and
yeah,
subscribe.
it's you're saying it sounds like it's a little disingenuous to
To me, it
people.
is. To me, it
Yeah.
is. I would do one. I would do one for, like I said, events. I do those all the time. In fact, this weekend is the full bloom blue moon in Sagittarius on the 30th, 31st. So, you know, I always do a full moon, new moon readings and stuff like that.
Do you do astrology too?
I got into it. I started, but whew, that was way too much information. Way too much information because, like, you think, yeah, that was way too much information. I've learned enough. I've learned basic numerology, basic astrology. That's all I need for what I do. I would never like become an astrologer. Now, if you're going to be dealing with the undead and the mystical arts and the things like that, yeah, you got to have the basic knowledge of those things because they all come into play. They do. But I no, I can tell, like, oh, you're a Pisces, you're a Libra, don't hook up, or yes, hook up. Like, I can do that kind of the basic stuff. And honestly, in tarot, a lot of decks do incorporate astrology, numerology. I mean, those are like the big things.
Yeah.
So basics, I stopped at the basics
Yeah.
because I was like, that's a whole new thing.
So fascinating. You're fascinating, Evie. I would love to, because we're getting at about an hour. I would love to bring you back.
Really already?
Yeah,
Snap.
yeah. We're it's
Okay.
all 7:30. I would love to bring you back for a second episode if you are up to it. I can send you my link again because we haven't even
Course.
talked about ghost hunting, which is where you and I met, and I know that's like a whole other hour. So,
I mean, I got all kinds of stories. I would say that if you could throw it out there and say, "Have you ever experienced this?" I would bet you got a story for it. Like, I got plenty to go on. If we're
well, good. I'll do.
if you don't have a co-host one day and you're
Listen,
like, I really need to do a show, you can hook me
I'll
up.
bring you up. I'll just start making a list of all the things that
Yeah.
my guests talk about or that I hear about, and then we'll just do an episode and I'll go, okay, let's see. I had a guest who had an alien visit. Have you ever had a weird alien visit? And you can
Like,
answer all of them. Yes, 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 yes.
well, it was there's this kind, there's this kind, there's this kind, there's this kind, then there's this kind. But yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah.
awesome.
No, I'm totally into it. I love this. I think it's great. I'm super proud of you.
Thank you.
And super happy that you thought of me.
Yeah,
And yeah, no, I look
right
forward to
away.
it, man.
I love it. You're
All
just
kinds of stuff to
I
talk
s-
about.
I just so appreciate you, and you're just one of those people that, it's not like we see hardly ever see. We have these serendipitous moments where, I'll be like, scrolling, I'm like, oh, Evie's live, or we're at a vintage baseball game,
It's so
10 years
funny.
ago, and but I love that you're just one of those people that I can just fall right back in and go, I haven't even talked to Evie in like, 8 years. And you're not, there's no awkwardness. It's just like, yeah, what do you want to talk about? How you doing?
I
Um,
mean, I like to say it's because I'm cool and you're cool, but that is
True,
also some
true.
kind of a weird trait I guess I have for like tarot reading and
Soul
seeing ghosts.
contract.
Like,
We must have had a good soul
you
contract in the
know,
past.
yeah. No, I'm cool with it. I love it. I haven't
Awesome.
talked about this. A fun little story. I was going through all the case files from when you were
Yeah.
in my group.
Yeah.
And I'm going, I've totally forgot. We used to have meetings and you were like one of the top investigators
Ah,
and I don't remember these things. I was like,
it's
oh
hard.
my gosh.
I
Yeah,
forget
like we
too.
did a lot together and I
Yeah.
I mean a lot of
Like
life
three
happened
years.
in the last 20 years,
Yeah.
but
I do too
Born to
because
see.
I forget. There were like, a handful that really stuck out, but like most of them, I'll be like, just, oh, like I remember that place, that restaurant we did, and wherever, and I'll dig out because I have an external drive where I put all of my archive photos and stuff. And I was pulling out that one that we were talking about, uh, that you didn't quite remember. You remembered like a lot of spirit energy on the island, but not necessarily in the house with that one guy
Yeah,
that who wrote
found that
like a
today
bad
too.
article. But yeah, but I didn't even remember. I went and looked at the pictures, and there were a lot of pictures of you, and just we would be in a room, and like I would take a photo, and you would just be like over here in the corner, just like meditating, like trying to pick stuff up. It's just memory lane. Oh,
It's more like, you know what? And I know I still have, like I said, a whole bag of actual film and audio tapes that I would love to go through sometime in my life from all
yeah,
the last 30 years,
I
20
know.
some
Well,
years.
we'll talk about that in the next
But I
episode
did
because
more, I took more visual images, I think.
yeah, I think when we do our next recording, we'll definitely get into, the cases and stuff, but also like the reality of, having to go through dozens of hours of,
Yeah.
evidence and recordings, and that was the hard part. But anyway,
Yeah.
save that for
Yeah.
next time. Awesome. Well, thank you so much again. You're so awesome, and I will send you a link. We'll set up another recording, and
Thank you, dear. I appreciate it. Thank you
yeah,
for having me.
yeah, I
Super
appreciate
excited.
you. Thanks for joining this episode of Something Weird Happened Here. If you have a twisted tale that you witnessed, experienced, or heard from a reliable source, go to bethanecampbell.com/somethingweird to learn more and submit your story. If your tale is twisted enough, we'll share it on air during one of our episodes and might even invite you to be a guest on the show. And we're not picky. Your Something Weird Happened Here could be paranormal, psychic, UFOs, near-death experiences, dreams, parallel dimensions, Bigfoot, chupacabra, or any other weird and unexplained phenomena. We don't discriminate. If you're into paranormal mysteries that are scary, fun, and realistic, pick up a copy of my latest book, The R.I.P. Files: Case of the Demon Drums, the first in a series inspired by real cases that I, Bethany Campbell, worked on when I was a ghost hunter for nearly a decade. Case of the Demon Drums is available on Amazon and most online bookstores. And finally, we would so appreciate it if you would rate and review us on your favorite streaming platform and/or on YouTube. Thanks again, and remember, stay skeptical, but don't run towards the noise.